What if after everything, after the war, after the wandering, after the atonement, after finally finding peace with Naruto, Sakura, and the village again, Sasuke Uchiha suddenly opened his eyes and found himself back in the Uchiha compound as a child, not only with his memories, with his powers too. Well, I found 3 ways this story could continue. In the first theory, Sasuke ruins everything by trying to save too much too early. The moment he wakes up in the Uchiha compound, he's overwhelmed. His mother is alive, his father is alive. Itachi is still his brother, not a memory buried under blood and regret. So instead of waiting and thinking, Sasuke does the one thing that even adult Sasuke could still do when his heart got involved. He acts too fast. He tells Fugaku the truth about Danzo. He warns Itachi that the massacre is coming. He tries to save Shisui before the trap is even fully set. And because he moves early, the entire village starts shifting before he has the body or chakra reserves to fully control the fallout. Danzo notices the Uchiha are acting strangely. The elders notice Fugaku pulling back from the coup. Itachi realizes Sasuke somehow knows too much, and Root starts moving ahead of schedule. This is where the disaster begins. Sasuke still has his eyes, yes. He can use terrifying techniques that no child should have, but he's still in a child's body, and that matters. His chakra pool is nowhere near what it will become later. He can switch places with Ame no Tejikata a few times, maybe force a terrifying Mangekyo display, maybe burn down a squad of Root with Amaterasu, but he cannot fight the whole machine of Konoha alone. So the hidden war bursts open early. Shisui dies anyway, only now there's no quiet cover-up. Danzo accelerates everything. The Uchiha turn more openly hostile. Hiruzen loses control of the village, and Itachi is forced into the exact nightmare Sasuke was trying to avoid, only bloodier and messier than before. This is what makes the first theory so brutal. Sasuke comes back with all the right intentions, but because he moves emotionally instead of strategically, he causes the massacre to happen under even worse conditions. Konoha is weakened. Naruto grows up in a village even more fractured than canon. Orochimaru and the Akatsuki take advantage, and by the time the Fourth Great Ninja War should arrive, there may not even be a strong enough leaf to stand in it. Now that's only one possibility. In the second theory, Sasuke learns from his old mistakes, stays quiet, and saves the Uchiha properly. This is the version where adult Sasuke wins his first real battle before ever throwing a punch. He wakes up, sees his family alive, and says nothing. He watches, waits, he thinks. Then he starts moving only when he has enough certainty to matter. Instead of going straight to Fugaku, he goes to Itachi. Not loudly, not dramatically. He gets him alone, shows him the Rinnegan, uses details nobody else should know, and forces his brother to face the impossible truth. Then the two of them find Shisui. That changes everything, because the massacre only happened in canon because the Uchiha were spiraling towards revolt. Danzo sabotaged Shisui's plan, and Itachi was cornered into choosing the village over his clan. If Sasuke arrives before that collapse and keeps Shisui alive, the balance shifts completely. Danzo becomes the real target. This time, Sasuke, Itachi, and Shisui move together. Shisui never loses his eye. Kotoa Matsukami stays in play. Danzo either disappears quietly or gets exposed so completely that even the elders cannot protect him. Once he's removed, Fugaku becomes much easier to deal with, because for all his anger, he was never truly the mindless warmonger some imagine. He was a proud clan head pushed into a corner. Shisui can ease the clan back from the edge. Itachi can stabilize relations with Hiruzen, and Sasuke, for the first time in either life, grows up with his family still there. That changes the whole shape of the story. He still enters the academy, but now he's absurd. Every teacher sees him as a once-in-a-generation genius. Naruto still sees him as a rival, only now that rivalry becomes cleaner. There's less bitterness in Sasuke, less obsession with revenge, and much more control. Sakura still falls for him, but this version of Sasuke does not treat her with the same detached indifference, because she already knows what she becomes to him later. Then Team 7 forms, and this is where the timeline starts healing. Land of Waves goes far better. Zabuza is defeated faster, Haku is either saved or put down cleanly without the same chaos. During the Chunin exams, Orochimaru finds a much more dangerous Sasuke waiting for him, without the emotional vulnerability of canon Sasuke. The Cursed Seal plan fails hard. Orochimaru may escape, but he leaves Konoha badly wounded and without his future vessel. Gaara still changes through Naruto. The Sand and Leaf still reconcile, but now Konoha has something it never had before, an intact Uchiha clan. A living Itachi, a living Shisui, and a Sasuke who already knows how every major threat thinks. That means the Akatsuki start losing members earlier. Deidara becomes easier to counter. Itachi's infiltration game gets even deadlier. The Pain attack becomes much harder to pull off cleanly, and once the Fourth Great Ninja War starts, it starts against a world that's simply far stronger than the one Obito expected. This is the hopeful branch, the one where Sasuke does not try to force the timeline into perfection. He just removes the ugliest poison early and lets the world breathe. But the third theory is the most interesting by far. In this version, Sasuke tries to save not just the Uchiha, but everything. To do that, he becomes even more dangerous than in canon. This Sasuke wakes up in the compound, feels the shock, sees the Rinnegan in the mirror, and understands immediately that patience alone is not enough. He cannot simply preserve the timeline because it was a disaster. The Uchiha, Itachi, Jiraiya, and Neji died. Obito broke the world. Madara nearly won. Kaguya almost returned. Naruto lost Kurama later. Boruto's era inherited peace built on unhealed scars. So Sasuke decides on something far more ambitious. He will have his family, his brother, his clan, Team 7's future, and the village too. He's going to keep all of it. He saves the Uchiha, but doesn't stop there. He prevents Danzo's rise. He keeps Shisui alive. He pushes Itachi to stay in the village instead of becoming a double agent. Then he starts preparing Naruto from the shadows early. That part matters more than anything. Sasuke understands one brutal truth. Naruto still has to become Naruto. The bond, rivalry, pressure, and growth still matter. If Naruto becomes complacent because Sasuke is too far ahead, the future destabilizes differently. So Sasuke does something strange for this version of himself. He holds back just enough to make Naruto chase him. Not when lives are on the line, but when rivalry matters. He lets Naruto feel the gap. He provokes him, he pushes him harder. He makes sure Kakashi notices Naruto's potential early, and influences events so Jiraiya takes Naruto seriously sooner. Meanwhile, Sasuke keeps himself climbing. By the time Team 7 forms, he's outrageously dangerous. He has adult-level instincts, unmatched chakra control, and 2 dojutsu that shouldn't exist yet. He hides the Rinnegan under his hair or an eye patch to avoid early questions, but in battle, he's terrifying. Land of Waves ends quickly. The Chunin exams become a massacre for anyone targeting Team 7. Orochimaru learns fast that Sasuke is not prey. This changes Naruto's world, because Orochimaru can no longer treat Sasuke as a vessel. Instead, Sasuke turns the relationship around. He studies Orochimaru, learns his ambitions, and decides whether the snake signing is worth killing early or controlling from afar. That is how strategic this branch becomes. Then the Akatsuki War begins to shift. With Itachi and Shisui alive in the Leaf, intelligence is cleaner. Sasuke identifies members' techniques and patterns years before they become public threats. Sasori is isolated. Deidara becomes predictable. Hidan and Kakuzu are less dangerous when Sasuke already knows their abilities. Pain is terrifying, but a prepared Konoha is a completely different beast than in canon. This version of the Pain arc would be incredible. Jiraiya may survive, because Sasuke knows Ame is a death trap and forces better backup. Nagato's secret may be revealed earlier, and Konan's loyalty is pressured. If Pain still attacks, he walks into a village with Itachi, Shisui, adult-minded Sasuke, and a better prepared Naruto. That fight becomes a statement. The Akatsuki are still dangerous. They just aren't facing the same world anymore. Then the war itself changes. Obito still moves. Kabuto still meddles. Madara still looms in history like a curse waiting to step back onto the board. But Sasuke now understands the deepest layer of the problem. Madara is not the final answer. Kaguya and Black Zetsu are the rot beneath the rot. So Sasuke stops treating the war as a simple battlefield and starts treating it as a surgical operation. He wants Obito broken. Madara denied. Kabuto either neutralized or used, and Black Zetsu watched every second. Because he has the Rinnegan from the start, once his body matures to support it, the balance gets ridiculous. By late Shippuden, he isn't even comparable to his War Arc self. He's way ahead of it. He's had years more to understand Ame no Tejikara. Years more to combine his ocular powers with his swordsmanship. Years more to refine Chidori variants, Susanoo control, battlefield awareness, and how to fight beside Naruto instead of against him. So when the final war comes, it becomes much shorter and much more brutal for the enemy. Edo Tensei gets countered early. Obito gets cornered earlier. Madara finds himself facing a generation that is ready for him instead of one still struggling to understand what's happening. And Kaguya? That's where the whole branch pays off. Because the weakness the heroes had against Kaguya in canon was confusion. They were constantly reacting. This time, Sasuke knows what Black Zetsu is, knows what Kaguya is, knows how dimensional shifts work, and knows exactly how much pressure Naruto will need from him to land the sealing blow. Kaguya is still monstrous. She's still ancient. She's still beyond almost everyone else. But she no longer arrives against a shocked, exhausted, half-improvised team. She arrives against 2 boys who are still destined to clash and complete each other, except one of them has already fought this war once. And that's why this third theory is so powerful. The first branch shows that trying to save too much too early can ruin everything. The second gives you a gentler, smarter version of Sasuke who saves the Uchiha and builds a better world. But the third gives you possibly the most dangerous of all. A reborn Sasuke who saves his clan, protects Itachi, Itachi, shapes Naruto into the hero he still needs to become, dismantles the worst parts of the timeline before they fully bloom, and then walks into the Fourth Great Ninja War with all the strength, wisdom, and ruthlessness of a man who already knows exactly how history is supposed to go wrong. But how would things change if Naruto was the one who was reborn? Well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this video to see what it could look like if Naruto was reborn with his powers and memories. Go ahead, click it.